There's one more thing to keep in mind as you approach this research. Yes, you should be looking for insights in general, but you should also be focused on insights that lead you towards your goals. And if you haven't figured out your key progress indicators, now is a good time. The two questions that I like to ask is, number one, what stage is your company at? And number two, what would you like to achieve with your strategy? When it comes to figuring out your brand capabilities and goals, do this in 3 steps. Number one, figure out what resources you have access to, what talents and budgets you have access to. That'll help you figure out what your limitations and your capabilities are. So, for instance, you might love Red Bull's content marketing strategy, but if you don't have the access to the kind of budgets or capabilities or talent that they have, you might want to steer it in another direction. Don't be a David going up against a Goliath. You also need to be realistic in setting your KPIs. Everyone wants a viral video, of course, but the truth is that most viral videos are paid for with big budgets, so set your KPIs accordingly. And what are those KPIs? Well, in order to help you establish this, I've mapped out some sample KPIs aligned to the customer journey. If you're just starting out and nobody has heard of your brand, driving straight to the purchase is, well, unrealistic. Your first step is always to build awareness. So, number one, awareness. If you're relatively unknown, you'll want to focus on building that awareness. Are people starting to know about your company even if they aren't currently in the market for your product? You'll want to build followers and engagement as a first step. Number two is research and consideration. So if people are aware of your brand but are comparing you to alternatives, you'll want to know that they're spending a good amount of time with your content and that they're getting their answers to their questions to help them lean in your direction. Time on site, search queries, and rankings are good sample KPIs to measure. Number three, purchase. Now that you're in the running for consideration, you want people to choose you, of course. Your goal here is to make sure people are considering your brand against others and finding out how positively in the running you are. You'll want to know if you're being found, how you're being found, and if people are feeling satisfied by what they find. Number four, experience. If you have sales but are concerned about customer experience, there is no better KPI than reviews, mentions, and feedback. And number five, retention. And yes, people can say they like you, but are they buying again? Are they recommending you to friends? These KPIs are in the word of mouth category of recommendations, mentions, and public reviews. Don't set multiple KPIs either. Set one core goal that can be measured across all of your efforts. You don't want goals to compete. You need to remain laser focused.